I'm lucky that I get to work in this industry, and particularly incredibly fortunate that I get to work in it this long, but I really want to work with people that are either immensely talented.
About a month ago, this really hit home with me too. About a month ago, I was sitting in traffic and I was just like jamming These Dreams by heart. Oh. I was killing it in the car.
Yeah. My relationship with my father, which was very complicated and difficult. My dad was a very I come from a middle class, kind of blue collar home.
What unfolded on live television was nothing short of explosive. The audience sat frozen, and social media erupted as soon as it happened. Bill Maher did what he's known for. He didn't hold back. This time, his target was Ryan Reynolds, and the confrontation was sharp, direct, and impossible to ignore. According to sources close to the situation, Maher wasted no time criticizing Reynolds over statements allegedly made in court by Blake Lively against Justin Baldoni. Witnesses claim Maher came prepared, armed with research, layered sarcasm, and that unmistakable grin, methodically questioning what many are now calling deeply inconsistent claims. His message was clear: something about the narrative didn't add up. Reynolds, by contrast, appeared caught off guard. Some say he tried to deflect the tension with humor, others insist he looked visibly unsettled. One insider even suggested he seemed eager for the moment to end altogether. But this wasn't just late-night banter. Maher was challenging what critics describe as glaring contradictions in Lively's account. Legal analysts have begun weighing in, questioning whether key portions of her testimony align with documented facts. A few have even speculated that the legal strategy may have been more tactical than emotional. The public quickly split into opposing camps, some applauding Maher for speaking out, others arguing he overstepped. Regardless of perspective, the controversy escalated dramatically. And just when it seemed the tension couldn't intensify further, Maher doubled down. Reports suggest he revisited past interviews, highlighted conflicting remarks, and referenced experts who have been quietly scrutinizing the case. The implication was unmistakable. There were serious inconsistencies that demanded answers. Meanwhile, those close to Baldoni hint that his silence has been intentional. Rumors suggest he may possess extensive documentation, messages, emails, possibly more, that could significantly reshape the entire situation if revealed. Should that happen, this dispute could take an even more dramatic turn. Reynolds now finds himself navigating a delicate balance: publicly stand by Lively and risk amplifying the backlash, or remain quiet and endure mounting scrutiny. Every move is being analyzed, and while he's no stranger to media storms, this one poses a unique challenge. As for Maher, insiders say he's fully aware of the storm he stirred. By spotlighting inconsistencies and keeping the discussion alive, he has once again positioned himself at the center of Hollywood's most heated debate. Then the skepticism intensified. Critics began asking whether the lawsuit was a genuine pursuit of justice or a calculated public relations maneuver. Prominent commentators, including Megyn Kelly, warned that if the allegations prove exaggerated or unfounded, the damage could extend far beyond reputations. It could undermine credibility for future accusers. As more footage and materials surfaced, some observers claimed they contradicted Lively's account, portraying interactions that appeared cordial rather than hostile. What had initially been framed as evidence of intimidation was reinterpreted by skeptics as something else entirely. The debate only intensified. Was this a strategic move to elevate visibility while Baldoni worked to defend himself with what supporters describe as tangible proof? Additional rumors surfaced suggesting Lively sought greater creative control over the film's final cut, an unusual step unless backed by significant influence. That alone raised fresh questions about motive and timing.
I would say that they're more surprises because they have beginnings, middles, and ends. They're not like, it's not just like a, hey, there's the person and we move on. It's they're there for a reason. And I'm really excited. But as I've gotten a little bit older, I'm lucky that I get to work in this industry, and particularly incredibly fortunate that I get to work in it.
Observers soon theorized that if Lively could successfully frame Baldoni as difficult or unprofessional, it would justify stepping in to assume creative control. Public perception might shift toward the belief that she was merely protecting her artistic vision. Critics argue this narrative felt strategically constructed to win sympathy and emotional support. Behind the scenes, reports suggested Lively leaned heavily on her influential network. Rumors circulated that Reynolds may have quietly influenced edits without the director's knowledge. Some even speculated that her longtime friend Taylor Swift could rally public support if tensions escalated further. With such high-profile allies, Lively appeared positioned to influence both production decisions and media coverage. Yet, as additional messages, texts, and behind-the-scenes clips surfaced, the narrative began to unravel. Rather than being universally viewed as a whistleblower confronting misconduct, some critics began portraying her as a star determined to dominate the spotlight. When Baldoni's team released materials supporters described as compelling counter-evidence, speculation grew that Lively's legal representatives sought a gag order, potentially restricting further disclosures. To many observers, this looked like an attempt to contain a narrative slipping out of control. If the original approach relied on shaping public opinion first, silencing opposing claims could have strengthened that strategy. However, Baldoni reportedly refused to remain quiet, believing transparency was his only path to defending both his career and character. This led to a broader question. Was the push for silence intended to protect sensitive matters or to prevent contradictory information from emerging? While no one directly confirmed the latter, critics argued the optics raised concerns. The implications extend beyond this dispute. When prominent figures are perceived to exaggerate or distort serious accusations, public trust can erode. Genuine survivors already face immense barriers when speaking out. High-profile controversies risk complicating that struggle further. Megyn Kelly voiced similar concerns, suggesting that if the lawsuit collapses under scrutiny, future claims, no matter how legitimate, could be met with heightened skepticism. For critics, this represents the deeper consequence of the controversy. As media outlets fixated on leaked communications and celebrity speculation, some warned that the broader conversation about real misconduct risks being overshadowed. Tabloid frenzy can drown out authentic voices that lack similar platforms. Initially, Lively appeared poised to be celebrated for standing up against alleged injustice, but once Baldoni released evidence challenging her account, public opinion shifted. Social media dissected past interviews, with critics pointing out moments where attention seemed redirected toward personal branding. Debates intensified online. Some questioned whether timing played a strategic role. Others who once supported her began reassessing their stance. Meanwhile, Baldoni, once widely criticized, started receiving sympathy from those who believed he was unfairly targeted. Memes circulated. Commentary turned sharper, and a broader conversation emerged about celebrity activism, whether it is always rooted in principle or sometimes intertwined with personal gain. The central question remains unresolved. If influential figures can reshape narratives for advantage, what does that mean for meaningful discussions about accountability in an industry already grappling with trust issues?
Okay, gotcha.
I think people tell themselves stories, and this sort of comes back to your worldview that you just mentioned about.
Really high praise as well. It was just one of those. It felt like a live-action Pixar movie. It was something that, I wanted to do something where no.
Hollywood has long been defined by rivalries over fame, finances, and creative authority. But today, the stakes are significantly higher. Public awareness around misconduct and workplace dynamics has evolved. When those conversations are manipulated for personal leverage, the consequences ripple far beyond one headline. Blake Lively, an A-list star with extensive industry connections, occupies a powerful position within that system. If her legal action proves to be strategic rather than sincere, critics argue it highlights a troubling pattern, serious allegations becoming tools for career advancement. There is an important distinction to make. Not every celebrity accusation is self-serving. Many expose genuine wrongdoing. But when public disputes begin to resemble orchestrated media spectacles, confidence in the broader movement can weaken. Whether Lively's claims are exaggerated, misunderstood, or entirely justified, one reality stands out. The controversy has amplified her public profile significantly. If the outcome reveals contradictions or questionable intent, the ultimate loss may be public trust. When a high-profile figure becomes the center of sensational drama, the impact stretches beyond individual reputations. It can influence how future claims are perceived. That possibility fuels concern among observers, who fear long-term consequences. Only time and verified evidence will clarify whether this is a calculated maneuver or a complex situation misinterpreted in the glare of public scrutiny. The broader lesson extends beyond this dispute between Lively and Baldoni. It underscores how influence and visibility can shape perception for better or worse. When fame intersects with controversy, the narrative can shift rapidly, and the repercussions can linger long after headlines fade. As this story continues to develop, more revelations may emerge. Stay tuned for further updates and follow along as new details come to light.